Hello, and Rand here, and today we're going to be replacing the pressure switch here on my well. We've been having the problems with it here for the last little bit. When we start getting low on pressure here, the water will simply cut out and we have no water. And it varies. Sometimes it'll come on fairly quickly. Other times, sometimes it might take a couple minutes before, oh, hey, now the water's back on. It's kind of annoying, right, Evan? Like you're taking a shower, and then all of a sudden the water is just done. There's no water. And like, what happened? I know the first time it happens, like, oh crap, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, then it'll kick back on here again. I'm pretty sure the fault lies in the pressure switch here. I think that's at fault here. It's basically getting down to the low side, which it should be set at roughly 40 psi. And it's getting down to about 40 psi, and it's not kicking on. It's going down past 40 and not, don't know why one. I think think this is at fault. So we're going to find that out. We're going to replace that here today. I do want to mention here a couple things too. First off, when we replace this, we're going to make sure we have the power out. So we'll check that here. A couple tools you're going to want. You can check it a couple different ways, right? You can check with a multimeter. I'm just going to check on my no contact tester here. Slow beep indicates that we have a neutral connection but no hot connection. And whenever you use this oven, one of these, you should really check and make sure, working. We got a hot connection up there. Down here, we have just a neutral. So we're good. Power's off, which it should be. I turned the breaker off here before I came down here. I've got this cover off here already, so that's what the inside looks like. It doesn't actually look too bad. When that first happened, Evan, I did try adjusting this. See one say like, okay, well maybe it just needs to be adjusted. Let's see, up, down, I don't know which way you want to consider that. Tried to up the PSI a little bit more, right? So instead of, kicking on at 40, it's like, well, we'll kick on at 42, right? I tried adjusting this, Evan. I could not get any adjustment out of this here, which even more makes me think this is at fault. One thing I do want to mention here, when I first bought this house, Evan, you can get like, if you go to the hardware store, they'll sell you two different switches, at least two anyway, maybe they got more, but the one I have here that I'm replacing this with is a 60/40. What that means, Evan, is it will cut out at the 60 psi. That's the high side. So at 60 psi, it should turn your well off. As your water bleeds down, or use the water, once it gets down to 40 psi, it should kick back on. And that's what's not happening here, by the way. So it gets down to 40 psi, it's not kicking back on. So again, this should kick off at 60, back on at 40. But when I first bought this house, I'm pretty sure this is a 50/30 switch. Because it would kick off at about 50-ish, and then it go down to about 30. And I adjusted this switch, and I got it up to a 60/40. As far as I know, I think these are all the same. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's a difference. Maybe they might put different springs on them. Maybe on the 50/30s they got different springs. I don't know. But I adjusted this one up to 60/40. I want to mention this here because this pressure tank says it is pressurized. If I can find it here, somewhere here it said 38 psi on this. I don't know where that is again, but I read 38 psi on this tank here somewhere. And so somewhere this tank says it's pressurized. Oh, maybe it's under the cap. Nope. Okay, I know I read 38 psi here somewhere. Where is that again? Now it's bugging me because, I know I read this. Well, okay, I'm not sure, but we're going to check that here as well. Basically, the way that works, Evan, and the reason I'm a little bit concerned about that, if they have a 50/30 switch, Evan, this tank should be pressurized to 28 psi. Now, if you're running a 60/40 switch, then it should be pressurized to 38. I'm trying to, oh, here it is. There, I say, I know I've seen it somewhere, Evan. There we go, 38 psi. So that means this tank is set up for a 60/40 switch, which they had a 50/30 in there before, which, that'll mess with your pressure. So anyway, enough blabbing, Evan. I know you folks say I carry on sometimes a little too much here, but let's get this out here. Power is off. I do need to drain the water out here, so we're going to turn this valve off. And original well, new one. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Also works great for just, we're just going to dump the water down the hole. Looks like we're fairly low already. It's down at about 40. I'm going to turn this off here as well, just so we don't have water running back and water running down here, so we just should have to worry about this. I think I'm going to get some new pieces here as well. I didn't bring any along, but these are looking a little rusty and crusty here, so that's filling up. Okay. Interesting. I've never actually had this fill up before. I have dumped a lot of water down this hole. There's still water in there. I was hoping the water would be gone by now. Okay, I might have to go upstairs, open something up here, and we'll drain out what we can upstairs. Then I can drain the rest in that hole. Okay, I think we're ready to turn the switch off. You have one. Made sure I drained all the water out. That took actually a couple minutes. I was surprised how much water was in there yet. Again, verifying power is off. We'll go ahead and pull the wires out here. And this is 220 here, by the way, on this particular pump. Why am I using straight? Let's get the Phillips out here. Enough of that straight crap. Boy, someone tighten these on there good. That'd be me. Well, those actually turned. Wow. They were definitely a little crusty. I didn't think they were going to turn, but they do. Good. I'm just going to pull the wire straight out of this one. I'm not even going to try to remove these. We will just put new ones on. That ground switch is crusty. Wow. There we go. Just checking. I'm just checking. There we go. It's like, oh crap. Okay. Put that down and turn that off. Good. I'm hoping I can get a pliers in here. Just barely. Was I going to turn the whole thing? Find out. Oh, it is not perfect. I don't have a small pipe wrench, Evans, so I got my big pipe wrench, but I don't think that'll work so good on that little pipe right there. But good, we're just turning this. That is all we need. Probably gonna be a little water coming out, maybe. Oh, we are very crusty here. Very crusty. I wonder if I turn this on, will it drain out? No. I'm going to want to do something about this. I'd like to turn this on. Actually, you know what, if I do this, will water come down? No. I don't want to turn the pump on it, but I want like a little water to flush this out here. Let me get the camera up close so you folks can see here. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. I mean, this looks like it's like practically full of rust. You're like, let me grab where's my screwdriver? Oh yeah, it's just like solid rust in there. Okay. This possibly changes my plans a little bit. It makes me wonder if the problem is the switch. Obviously, we got water flowing through, Evan, so like this part and this part, it might be rusty in there, but it's working, it's flowing water. Probably explains why that's always, yeah. But yeah, we need to clean that out. Let me think about this here a minute, everyone. Wow. Interesting. Was definitely not expecting this one. I won that. Okay, there we go. We finally popped through. Now, I did open the faucet upstairs, so if we flush a little water here. Okay, it's coming up. Made a mistake. Made a mistake. I had that open. There we go. Hope I got enough water up in the lines here yet. You know what? If I open this one. Okay. I think I'm starting to understand maybe why this pressure switch wasn't working so good. In fact, maybe I'm wondering if this switch is fine. It's this was at fault here. I got a new switch. We're gonna put a new one on. It's not like they're that expensive, so slightly concerning though. I don't remember if I did a video on it, Evan, but was it a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, I replaced this gauge here as well. The old gauge wasn't working. Turns out it had the same problem, and the little gauge opening was just full of rust. I think I actually had the original gauge yet. It actually did work after I cleaned it out. There was nothing wrong with it necessarily, just it was plugged. Yeah, I'm seeing clear water coming out now, so I like seeing that. Again, I don't really want to turn this on here, but if that makes sense, right? Like, I just did all this work to empty it. We'll just let that drain here a minute, and we'll come back once we get a little water through that. Okay, well, that's been running pretty clear here for a minute. I think we're going to call that good. Open this up here, see if I can get that water to drain out of there a little bit. Okay, we'll just have to do it this way, I guess. Yeah, that's some crunchy rust on there. Okay, now we'll re-Teflon it here. I believe they usually say about 3 wraps is sufficient. And then we'll go ahead and put the new switch on. Hopefully this is the same size. Oh yeah. I'm definitely considering, I wonder if I should like replace all of it. If you notice, Evan, everything here is copper except for this little section right here. And, you know, is the rust coming from the water, or do we have an issue in here somewhere that's causing all this rust? I don't know. That feels like that's going to be about it. Or technically opposite of what the old one was, which I guess it doesn't really matter. Nope. Okay, we're going to call that good. So, doesn't really matter what side these come in as far as I know. I can check here, but we got to get this wire here. So instead of coming in there, it's going to have to come in here now. And this one can come in there. And I've got 2 brand new ones of these. You know, I just thought of something, Evan. I've got plastic ones. Maybe I should have used those, given that the old one's corroded. Oh, well, I got these here now, so. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the wires hooked up here. So black to black. Should be pretty straightforward. Have to. Okay, should all be tight. And before we go any further, we're going to do a quick pressure check on the tank here. Okay, folks will just have to trust me there. I had to use both hands on that one. I got 39 PSI on my gauge, so hey, that's close enough for me. It says it's 38, and I got 39, so you know how accurate is this gauge versus the air temperature. I think that's pretty close. Okay, let's see what's here. I think we're ready to turn this back on. Let me double check my wiring here. So this one to this one, the white one on that one to that one, black one there going out, white one there going out. I believe we are good. Pressure switch is currently in the closed position. Yep, which would make sense. There's no pressure on it. I think we're ready to turn this on. Okay, 3, 2, 1, don't blow up. Well, I didn't hear nothing from over by the breaker box of them, but it is running, so we'll just keep an eye on it here. Make sure here that we're not going above 60, or you know, as long as it's close, right? Or a little bit above 60, I'm okay with that. So we'll just watch this gauge here a minute, and then I'll have to go turn the faucet on somewhere and make sure we shut back off. Oh, we're almost to 60 here already. Going a little bit above according to the gauge. Oh, hey, look at that. Perfect. That was quick. I hear the toilet running up above upstairs there. It's probably not gonna be enough to drain. I'm gonna go open a faucet here, man. We'll watch and make sure this drains back down to 40 and then kicks back on like it's supposed to. Okay, I got a couple faucets open upstairs and we're getting close to that 40 PSI here. Should kick back on here in a moment. It's surprising how long it takes to go from like 45 to 40. See what I mean? I'm still going. I thought I'd start recording like, it's pretty close. It should kick on here any minute. And I can hear the faucet upstairs. Yep, there we go. And I didn't hear the faucet. So what was happening before, you know, like the faucet, I got it running upstairs. It'd run out of water. There's no water. And then you'd wait with then, oh, all of a sudden it'd kick back on and it'd run again. But it looks like that ran pretty good. I'm happy with that. I think we can put the cap back on. There it is. We'll put that cap back on there. Screw that down. There we go. Complete. I'm going to probably let this run one more time. I'm going to just watch it myself. Well, then I think we're going to call it here for the video. So that, hope you folks enjoyed. Comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And till next time.